Ah man, all roads lead to us being here. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in. Broadway the Giant on YouTube. Hit that like button. We're gonna have a dope conversation. I thought it was form fitting. I thought it would be form fitting at least. About a simple conversation that stirred by way of Tank. He said something on Drink Champs, and I'm gonna play it for you guys in a moment because it's kind of deep, and I want to get you guys' point of view on it. For 1 second here, well, I'm gonna play this clip for you guys so we can actually dive deep into it and unpack it. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay on Instagram. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm gonna play this clip, and I want you guys to check it out. If you guys want to see it, if you guys on Clubhouse and you want to see what's actually happening, what up though, Keish? And you guys want to see what's actually happening, hit that link up top and you'll see I'm about to play a video, and you guys will hear it. But if you want to see it as well, go to that link pinned up to the top, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, please. And I think you guys will find this clip very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so here we go.
It's drug selling. It's drug using. That's what they perceive as the best about it. Why though?
Right. No, you're right.
Why is it the best of us?
Right.
Why? Like Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about "Stay with Me." Mm-hmm. That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, "Stay with Me," limited bandwidth, because our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
You now listening to Live on Broadway.
Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman. That's the threat.
Yeah, but I want to wake that up. I want to have a conversation with you guys. I'll play it a little later because I know there's going to be people that's going to pull up that probably didn't hear it. But I want to play that a little bit later. And I want to get how you guys feel on it, right? Do you guys feel as though our love is the threat or our violence is the threat?
That's powerful, bro. I never heard it like that. So he's basically saying the negativity isn't a threat. People being in jail, families being broken apart isn't a threat. But when we love each other, when we do right by each other, that's a threat. I never heard like phrase like that the way Tank did. I think there's more power in unity, So I think it behooves us to stay together, like our families together, the mother and the father, the kids, to create like a nuclear strength, amongst the unit. So I like what he had to say. It just makes me think. And I don't know what he's alluding to. Is he saying, it depends how you interpret it. Is he saying that the government set that up? They set us up for failure by putting us, mass incarceration, putting us in a low standard housing. I think that's what he's alluding to, saying by saying that. So it just gives me something to think about. And I like it. I think it's a great conversation for the room to have. And I like my plan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I want to get it from Keisha. Tap in with me, Keisha. How you feeling? Is our love the threat or is our violence the threat?
Okay, give me a little more details because I'm out moving around and I'm still trying to listen.
No, I got you. I'm gonna play it again. Instagram, if you look at the time, 444, angel numbers. What up to Vern's Junk Closet? I'm gonna play this clip again. If you guys want to see it and hear it on Instagram, go to my YouTube, Broadway the Giant. Clubhouse, just hit that link above and it's going to take you straight there. I'm going to play the clip one more time. Instagram is going to freeze for a second. If you want to hear the clip and you want to see the clip, go to my YouTube, Broadway the Giant.
It's drug selling. It's drug using. That's what they perceive as the best about it. Why though?
Right. No, you're right.
Why is it the best of us?
Right.
Why? Like Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about "Stay with Me." Mm-hmm. That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, Stay With Me, limited bandwidth. Because our violence isn't the threat, our love is.
You now listening to Live on Broadway.
Our family separated, it's fine, it's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman, that's the threat.
Yeah, but get your POV. Do you believe, what's the threat, our love or our violence? What's the threat? Because we move around these places, we move around this life, we move around our own respective worlds, right? Our own perspectives are heavily influenced by our social circles, right? Like our family, our kids, our significant others. So I thought it'd be a dope moment to have a conversation. Hit the button too if you want to be brought up. I'll bring you up, Queen. You know, on whether or not, what's the threat? Is it our love or is our violence? Are people scared of black people's love or are they scared of black people's violence? And I asked it that way because, yeah, if you're in a different part of the world, a different part of the country, and you're viewing us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button right now. Hit that button, hit that link up top, and hit that like button on YouTube. And no matter where you are, what's the threat? Is it your love or is it your violence? Tap in with me. Let me know how you feel.
Okay, I see now. So look, what I got out of this is I don't really have beef with nobody. I don't have no issues, no nothing. So it's like, but the crazy shit come from is the love. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers feel the love. You know what I'm saying? I done got into a hoes. You know what I'm saying? His bitches and shit, they jumping me because of the nigga in love. You know what I'm saying? So it is love. Like you can love a motherfucker today, and then he'll hurt your feelings tomorrow. You'll be ready to kill him. So it all, you right. It all, I mean, I don't know if that's the way the story was going, but that's just how I feel, how I took it or whatever. Like I was just talking about this. A nigga kill a bitch. A nigga kill a nigga over a bitch before a nigga kill a nigga or he robbed them or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that love. It's crazy because that's some shit I gotta tap in because look, they say God is love, right? Mm-hmm. But love don't love nobody for real. But love is love is fucked up, you know. But God is love, so it's like we confused. You know what I'm saying? So it's like ain't nothing wrong with going to God and asking questions when you confused or whatever. Because I don't understand. I thought love was supposed to be a good thing, and I'm a part.
I have Vern's Junk Closet up here with me. Oh no, all right. Tap in with me, Ricky. Tap in with me, Ricky. I'm gonna come to you right now, Vern. Give me 1 second, Queen. Tap in with me, Ricky.
I think you know, Keisha kind of definitely shed light on how, like, you know, a nigga will kill a nigga over a female or a lady friend as opposed to, you know, if they were to rob him and whatnot. I think that kind of and then she said, you know, love is supposed to be happy. I think that's where the misconception lies, right? Like I think love has its positives and its negatives. Right, I think, and even in terms of the question to kind of bring it full circle, what's the threat, our love or our violence? I think Tank is coming from a perspective where, like, the love is the threat because a lot of times the violence comes externally, right? Like you know, even in terms of we talk about culture and how you know colored folk were brought over here, that violence has always been, it's almost become habitual, unfortunately. Like people have fought through it, you know, we've grown from it and whatnot, but love is really what enlightens individuals. You grow from love, whether it's good or bad. You love someone, that relationship ends. If you're on point and you continue to build, you grow from that love. If someone loves you, right, and you're finally learning, like I just recently got engaged, that came from me learning from my previous love that was not quote unquote positive and learning how to be loved, right? So when you think about violence, what's the bigger threat? I think the bigger threat is when we love as a culture. Like when I love you or you love me, you know, the external factors that are trying to manipulate or trying to cast a facade as to what's really going on, they see that as a threat, right? That love uplift people. Like, you could be and you're down and out and you feel love from people you've never met before, strangers, and that could propel you to a level you've never been before. That could put you in a place that you've never experienced before. So when I hear Tank describe it that way, that's kind of how I accept, or that's how I received it, where I'm thinking like, damn, you know, violence is very important, of course. But a lot of times, even when, you know, the people who are in the street, they'll say, oh, you know, they're just not love. Nah, their love is different. Love is subjective. How I love is different than how you love. How I receive love is different than how you receive love. My perception of love is different than how your perception may be. So I think it's full circle, and I think it's how we as individuals understand it and put it out. Growing up, culturally, love was like, oh, I'm going to take care of you. But that just means a roof over your head, maybe clothes on your back. It wasn't, look, I'm going to educate you on how to be elevated. I'm going to educate you on how you can control your own emotions so that you can make the best decisions for yourself. That's how I deem love to be now. Put people that you love or people that you care about in positions to be in positions of growth so that they can become the better versions of themselves. Before it was like, I love you, now you owe me something. That was my perspective anyway. That's how I was raised. Right? Like, oh, you owe me something. Now that I understand it's bigger than that, I see the violence.
Right.
And then we walk that thin line of, it's like, you know, violence is relative, but it's familiar to everyone. Right? It's familiar. People understand what violence is, whether it's murder, these mass shootings.
I love it.
Domestic violence, whatever, all those things fall into violence.
Right.
And they'll say, how do you combat that? Well, with love. But if someone is not truly ready to accept love or has a true concept of what love may be, quote unquote, right, then how are they going to be able to create that sort of movement, right? Violence is negativity. Negativity spreads faster because most people aren't at peace. That's why a lot of people struggle to sleep at night. You know what I mean? So as you kind of understand that, you can sit down and be like, you know, for me to love me allows me to love someone else. That way they can love someone else.
Yeah,
that becomes the threat.
Look, I get what you're saying, right? I feel like love is love. I used to have this saying that I would say, welcome to Vern. What's happening with you, Queen? I used to have this saying when I was a child that said, love is what love does. You hear what I'm saying to you? I used to have this saying as a child that I used to say a lot of, love is what love does. Like, you can't say you love someone if you aren't showing them that you love them, right? And also, you know, what up though, Shantae? You know, also it's almost like, matter of fact, hold on, let me get it from Vern. I'm gonna tap back in with you, Ricky. Great commentary. I appreciate you, King.
You already know.
You know, Vern, come here, Queen. Let me talk.
All right, I'm right here.
How do you feel? Welcome to the room too, Shantae. I'll be with you in a second, Queen. How do you feel? Is what's the threat? Our love or our violence?
So I think it could be both, because some men get jealous because a woman has women friends and they feel like all your love and attention is going to them. So they get jealous. That's one thing. And then it's where a man would get jealous or want his attention with the woman and want to hit her, but he wouldn't hit a man like that. So it goes two ways, because I'm from New York. I've seen a man beat a woman up in the street, but when men went up there to stop him and fight him, he wouldn't fight them. That's a punk move. Why didn't you fight them? But you want to beat her up.
Right.
Well, you know she couldn't defend herself, but you love her. So you're going to beat her up, give her a black eye, and then you want to make love to her? Not in this lifetime.
Right. So,
oh, no, we will not.
So
that love doesn't hurt.
Right.
Love is protective. Love is where you love somebody so much you don't want to, you want them inside of you. Now, I don't believe in, oh, you make me complete. That I don't believe in, because you need to be completed yourself. But you also need to have a understanding before you guys come together. Okay, what is your idea of love? How did you grow up seeing your parents love? Because that's something too. If you didn't grow up with your parents and seeing love, I don't know if I'm buffering or is he? Somebody in the chat say something.
Yeah, no, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly fine. I think I hear you. Go ahead. Go for it, Queen.
Yeah, I see me. I don't know if it's me buffering or you.
No, I can see you. Everything looks fine on my side.
Oh yeah, I see it buffering on my end. But yeah, it's like yeah, so I think it could be both. And it also is a mental state. How mature are you to handle love?
All right,
Some people can't handle it.
So hear me, right? I think I just to give you a little bit resistance, I don't think love is painless, right? I think love is pain to some extent. You know, the things that we love, you know, I love my mom, but she's hurt me. You hear what I'm saying? But I know that's been out of what I needed in that moment, you know, and I was too young and too immature to not understand what she was doing was actually helping me, not hindering me, you know? So I believe love, I love that shit that Keisha gave a moment ago. Welcome, Shantae. I'll play the clip for you again. Just go to that link up top, hit that YouTube link and hit that like button, please. I'm gonna play the clip again because Keisha said something very powerful. Keisha said that you know, when we talking about love, when we talking about love, we're talking about men. It's crazy how a woman could love a man and a man will put his hands on her and but a man won't put his hands and retaliate if somebody robbed that man. You know, this was just a figure of speech she gave or whatever. But I'm gonna play the clip again. I'm gonna play it quite a few times, and I want to get how you feel about it, Shantae. Check it out.
It's drug selling. It's drug using. That's what they perceive as the best about it. Why though?
Right. No, you're right.
Why is that the best of us?
Right.
Why? Like Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about stay with me. That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, stay with me, limited bandwidth. Because our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
You now listening to Live on Broadway.
Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman. That's the threat.
Yeah, but yeah. Shantae, are you by your mic, Shantae? All right, there you go, Shantae. Tap in with me, Queen.
I heard what he said, but I don't get the context of the question. Our love or our violence?
Well, read the top part of the question. What's the threat? Our love or our violence? Do you perceive all right, so I guess the better way of putting it, right, is my love, I believe they identify my love to be the threat. Because if I'm loving, if I'm pouring into my family, if I'm pouring into my children, my wife, my family as a whole, I believe that to be the threat. Because if I'm not doing that, and I'm being violent, the violence, that's what they've been wanting us to do, because that gives them just cause to do what they want to do by way of us. So I feel and believe that our love is the violence, our love is the threat, not our violence. Hence what a lot of what Tank just said in the clip.
Got you. Thank you for that. I get it now. I agree. I was listening to the lady speaking, and that was very deep what she was saying about, you know, a lot of people don't know what really love looks like. And so how do you give that if it's not in you to give? So that was really a bar right there. Shout out to her. But
shout out to Vern's Junk Closet.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think us getting back to the very essence of us, and when I say us, I mean it's Black people, because I just feel over time we've embraced a lot of Western ideals, but when you go back to who we were and those that have been able to travel to the motherland, we're very giving and we're very loving and we're very kind and accepting people. You know, it's not in our nature. I really don't feel like the grand essence of being a Black king or queen is the violence. I think the violence is a symptom of other deep-rooted things that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And
the mentality.
Your echo chamber for exactly what Vern said. You know, I'm gonna be playing this clip quite a few times because I want everybody to hear it. You know, before they give their commentary, because the room is gonna build, the conversation is gonna build, so forth and so on. Welcome to the room, D. What's happening with you, King? D, are you by your mic, King?
I'm good. I'm here.
All right, cool. So I wanted to have a conversation today because Tank said something on Drink Champs. Shout out to Drink Champs, Tank, and everything they doing over there. DJ EFN. I want to know how you feel about the topic that's pinned up to the top, but I want to play it first. I want to play it for you first. Just do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that link up top, and hit that like button on YouTube, and I'm gonna play the clip for you right now.
It's drug selling. It's drug using. That's what they perceive as the best about it. Why though?
Right. No, you're right.
Why is that the best of us?
Right.
Why? Like Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about "Stay with Me." Mm-hmm. That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, "Stay with Me," limited bandwidth. Because our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
You now listening to Live on Broadway.
Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman. That's the threat. Yeah, but
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it is a little bit puzzling that our pop music, well, not be our pop music, because we have different genres, and we used to do numbers in the R&B. So I'm not gonna act like it just never happened. You know, before hip hop was invented, it was straight good music. And so I just think it's the times and the generation that shifting that a little bit more to his point, which is unfortunate. And I don't have an answer about how to fix it, but there's some truth to that.
So let's go a little bit deeper, right? If I may, let's go a little bit deeper. What's happening with you, Trills? The music is bang bang shoot 'em up, nigga die slow, and I'm here for it to an extent, right? I'm here for it, right? And what he's saying pretty much is they much rather push the narrative of the shoot 'em up, bang bang, the shoot 'em up, bang bang, nigga die slow, right? Over what R&B used to be, because the violence, the violence isn't the threat. They don't want the good music. They don't want certain music on the radio, because if we're coming together, if we're singing songs like Sam Smith and it looks like and it sounds like it comes from us, then that means that we're starting to unify, right? And music could be very persuasive, right? It means that we may 3-4 more songs might come to pass by way of that one song, and then those 3-4 songs become 12, and then 24, 48, and then so forth and so on. It starts to multiply, right? Imagine if we never got Kanye West, would we have gotten a Drake? So, not saying that their music it tears us down, but I'm just saying, like, it's fruit from a poison tree. So when we have the drill artists and the drill music and the people coming out and the K Flocks and the you name it, right? The Sosas and the King Vons and the so forth and so on. Not to say I love that music, but I'm old enough to be able to break it down and say, you know what? This is for this situation. When you're young and you're that influential, You don't know shit from shit. You just moving according and you doing what the music is saying, not because you really feel like that, but because you feel like, oh, that's what Hov said. Hov said, you know, what's a 4.0? 4.6. Everybody, when Range Rover had to stop making the 4.0s and they had to start making the 4.6s because nobody else was buying them. The influence. And that's what we talking about. So I'm going to go a little bit further in that way, in that direction. I want you guys to wake it up for me and tell me what you think about some of that I just shared. Tap in with me. Welcome to the stage, Trills.
So I missed the whole thing.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to be playing it quite a few times, right? So fruit from a poisonous tree, right? Fruit from a poison tree. Exactly. So we're having a conversation that's based off of Tank saying on Drink Champs, you know, our love is the violence. Our love is the threat, not the violence. You know, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it again because I know people want to hear it. Hit that link up top so you can watch it too. Hit that link up top. I'm gonna play the clip so you can watch and hear it, and hit that like button when you go to that link.
It's drug selling. It's drug using. That's what they perceive as the best about it. Why though?
Right. No, you're right.
Why is it the best of us?
Right.
Why? Like Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about "Stay with Me."
Mm-hmm.
That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, "Stay with Me," limited bandwidth, because our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
You now listening to Live on Broadway.
Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman. That's the threat.
Yeah, but so, Trills, we got the full portion. What up, though, Siegel? Hopefully you heard that. Trills, what's your take on it? How you feel? What's the threat? Our love or our violence?
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. I can't pinpoint it quite yet. There's definitely been an attack, but before all of us in here have been born, an attack on the Black community, Black love, and Black families. And there's a lot of ways that just the government and other sources separate people in that way. And this is a new perspective for me as far as music goes. He's right. I totally agree with him. I can see that happening, and I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, but it's an agenda, and it's fitting in with everything else. But it's just crazy. It's some sick shit.
You know, it's crazy. Again, right? We'll be on here and we'll be moving around and we'll be in rooms and we'll be having conversations. But the real conversation, again, the one that deserves the most attention in our community, we always see it, right? That's why there be people that gaslight with titles just to bring people in, and then it do a million quadrillion numbers, right? But those that are of substance and that matters in the community, we don't really see that. Right, so Siegel, tap in with me, Siegel. How you feel? I don't know if you got.
What's going on?
Yes. What's happening with you?
Yeah, I heard the clip, and I 100% agree with Tank as well. I guess since he coming from like a musical standpoint, I mean, that's 1,000% correct because they only tend to push like the artists that are pushing, like we could just talk about mainstream today. They seem to only want to push the violence, the drilling, the drug using, the drug selling. But then you got niggas like J. Cole or Kendrick, and they not going to get the same push from mainstream because they actually, especially off Kendrick's latest album, mainstream ain't talking about that shit, bro, because he is really talking about conversations that we need to sit down and really have with our families. And that is not what the fucking mainstream, that is not what white America wants. That is not what nobody wants. Their biggest fear is Black people really coming together, really fucking loving each other, and goddamn taking back what is originally ours to motherfucking begin with. And that's what Kendrick's whole album is about, but you don't hear nobody talking about that shit because that ain't what they push. That ain't the narrative that they want. They want us to listen to these niggas killing each other. They want us to goddamn sell drugs. They want us to think that all that we have to offer is to go to the fucking league or sell drugs, and that ain't nothing near what we can offer as a fucking people. So I agree 100,000% with that shit, man.
Wake that up. Wake that all the way up. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm listening. I'm listening, Trill.
No, I mean, I could literally hear a sequel go off just like that for another good 5 minutes with those fire sound effects because it's really important.
Nah, it is. It is. It is. And the crazy part to it is it's almost like we start to feed into it. We start to feed into it, and and it's not even a matter of being woke, right? It's just a matter of being realistic. You can see it. It's plain as day. Stevie Wonder, the writing's on the wall. You can see it. And we almost start to play into it, right? Holding us accountable. We almost start to play into it and start to add to the narrative that's being put out there about us. Right, like, and I'm trying to take it away from music, but music it applies, right? But to make it simple, to make the to make it simple, to make it all apply, to make the adhesive stick, it's the music. So you start with the music, make it so that everybody understands, and then let it spread wide, right? We see what's happening by way of the drilling, right? Niggas is literally they're starting to hold you accountable for the music that you write in by using your lyrics in court. We see that I think Jay and Meek, they did a bill saying that you can't use your I think a bill got passed saying that you can't use rap lyrics or lyrics from a song to incriminate somebody with because it's a form of art. Now it's a bill, it's not yet a law, right? So a bill, it needs to be a bill before it becomes a law. So we see this. And we see who they're really targeting because they don't target the incest, the crazy music, the violence that's happening in country music. Huh? Hello? They don't do that over there, but they do it over here because it's almost.
But
like
think about
they
it.
brought the drugs into
think
the
about
country,
it. We all
right?
came
they
together,
did that, but we created hip hop and the different multi-facets of the tree of hip hop, right? Because you got R&B hip hop, you got trap hip, you got all these different types of hip hop. But then when we talking about hip hop, when we talking about rap music, it puts us in a situation where there's nobody standing in front of the real issue. And the real issue is that if we start seeing what the issue is, if we start seeing and recognizing that they deem our love to be the threat and not our violence, we'll start to move in a better way. I'm gonna swing the mic around the room. Think
about this.
We got Shantae, we got David in here. I know they'll be back in a second. Tap in with me, guys. We got Vern on Instagram. Vern, when you want to tap in, just let me know, Queen. I got you.
Yeah,
but
can you hear me?
Guys.
Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But think about it. Think about just follow me for a minute. If we all, to my black folk, came together, right? And instead of people going to the bank to borrow money, just look, Jay-Z and Kanye West, the people with money said, no, I'm gonna lend you the money, but I'm not gonna charge you no interest. Let me buy you a house or a car. Let us get another Black Wall Street. Don't you know we would be a threat to a lot of other non-blacks if we built another Black Wall Street? Come on now.
And then that one went down too.
Black Wall Street is now in Stone Mountain in Atlanta, Georgia. They've already got the building up. You can actually go in there, and they're trying to build it up to what it used to be, but the foundation is laid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just know we gonna have to fight though.
Right, that part.
You talking about GA, we born to fight. Right. We ready down here.
Tap in with me, Trills. I hear you.
No, I don't mean to cut nobody off.
It's okay. It's okay.
I love that idea, and I'm down for the idea. Part of why the idea is going to fail is because no one's going to come together, and it's a lot of segregation, especially when it comes to Latin people and Latin American and Black American. There's a divide there. Sometimes I'm in spaces where I'm Black, and then sometimes I'm in spaces where I'm not. Every day I'm Black, though, because if you're just 1% Black in America, you're Black, and you're not going to tell me with my hair texture and my skin tone in the summertime and my lineage, period. So I'm for it, but we got to be for it for real. Like,
but look, Trillion, wake this up, right? Why do you think this? How did the divide happen then? How did the divide happen?
Oh man, you don't have enough time for that.
Well, see, so
everybody want to pick on the Black folks. That's how the divide happened.
So the divide happened, right? The divide happened in slavery, right? Where the mentality that was taught to us was you dislike him. I'm gonna put him in the house. I'm gonna put him in the field, right? I'm gonna put him in the house. I'm gonna put him in the field.
You darker.
Yeah, you light, you darker, right? And you're better than because you're lighter than. You're worse than because you're darker than. So that's where the issue started from, right? So in order to eradicate the problem, we got to start coming together and moving on one accord. But y'all know the vibe there.
Like-minded individuals. So people who are first and foremost open-minded and healed. You can't just tell someone to look at you and look at me and consider us one of the same, given how they were raised. You know, a lot of people aren't raised to look at things a certain way, and a lot of it has to do with inner healing. So this topic comes up every now and then, no matter what, because we're people of color, and you know, we're gravitating towards each other for a reason, because you know, we like what we have to say, we have things in common, and we want more for each other and just the community. But something like that can work in a small, controlled environment, because we see what happens in this country when Black people are achieving at a high level. They get blackballed, they get killed, they get this, they get just all the time, you know? So there needs to be some open-mindedness to still being inclusive and including other people as allies, because I don't know where the clip was, and if I had time to prepare, I would have been able to find it. But there was this man who was speaking for himself in the courtroom, and white people surrounded him when security officers tried to get him to stop from standing on top of the table. You know, and
so wait, he was standing on top of a table and they surrounded him
in a courtroom, and they surrounded him to protect him. And this, it may be too prideful for some people to admit, but things like that is what I feel like needs to happen for there to be some kind of longevity, and we need to put our pride aside in a lot of aspects.
Let's just wake that up though, because I mean, too, I'm from the South, 100%. Georgia. I could take you to houses with the Underground Railroad in it, but I could tell you who didn't own them houses during slavery. It wasn't us. It was the white folks. So if we didn't have actual allies, a lot of them motherfuckers would have never made it up north, if you want to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, like, I hate when folks kind of box everybody all in the same box, because that's not necessarily true. Like, we wouldn't be free if it wasn't from the good white folks that decided to help us out.
No,
we had to trust them.
And wake that up, right? Because not all white people are bad people, right? Like let's just put that out there, right? So you know, I think we're speaking in the terms of you know, when we're talking about slavery, we're not, if it don't apply, let it fly. You know what I mean?
God.
And that's just really what it is, right? Like not every Black person that's for you too. Let's wake that up. You know,
that's 100% true.
So. You know what I mean?
There were tribes in Africa that couldn't be enslaved either. There's people who can't relate to slavery. Their lineage don't even go back to that. So just in a whole full circle situation, in my opinion, like, I don't know who was speaking before, the woman that was talking. I think that's a beautiful idea, but there's so much segregation within the Black community and hierarchies based on where you're even from, because some people don't consider you Black unless you're from America. So if you're Trinidadian but you look Black, you're not Black. So there's that part. It's just too much. You got to find your tribe and start small. I see it happening. I see it's happening, but it's not happening at the scale we want, and that's okay. I don't think it ever will, because there's so much ignorant people.
Burns, how you feel, Queen? How you feel about, because you actually started this, you actually woke it up about, you know, how you feel about what's happening?
I think with loyalty, we can conquer and we can divide. I think that is the thing. Instead of us, oh, you got $50 and I only got 30. Nah, you need to give me that. No, it's put the whole thing in the pot, period. Just put everything in the pot. That's how I see it. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. It looked like you're buffering on my end.
Nah, you good. We hear you.
We flashing for you.
Nah, yeah,
Okay.
they applauding. They're on Clubhouse. They clapping their hands like a mother. So they hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, but think about it. Just stop for a minute. If we were to all pitch in and not think, oh, that's yours, that's mine. It's ours. It's not me. It's not about me. It's about us. If we had that mentality of us, we could go far. I'm telling you, we could.
But
we got to eliminate our egos because that's the biggest hindrance.
Come on
for the
now.
black community is the fucking egos that we have. Because if our people that got all this money, from our athletes to the entertainers to the lawyers and doctors, could put their motherfucking egos aside, we could be a lot further than we are. But it's them egos, man. It's them motherfucking egos, and that should be the death of us. Egos. You ain't no better than I am. I mean, just because you got $1 billion, that don't mean I can't contribute to furthering the agenda that we have. Like,
whoa, Siegel, stay right there. Stay right there, because I think you just put the key in a lock, and I'm just going to turn it a little bit, right?
Okay.
We got classism, right? Because money, I might not think and may know that, all right, cool, I'm woke, right? Just because you light and you dark, I respect you equally, right? But then you let a black person get a little bit of money, and you start letting people in a certain amount of rooms, and they stop letting other people in a certain amount of rooms because you don't have the money I have. You can't come around these friends. Why? Because I don't have enough money? So classism.
That gatekeeping shit, man.
Right.
We got to stop gatekeeping our own fucking community and open them doors and let niggas in.
Exactly.
I hate to play devil's advocate because I get annoyed when Broadway does it, but here I am being a hypocrite.
It's okay.
Well,
you can be the pot holder. I'll call the kettle black.
Them ladies from the Black Lives Matter organization, they done stole all that money and bought a fucking mansion. Shit like that is why people are scared to do business with their own kind. I'm not mad at it. I've had money stolen from me. It's not gonna stop me from what I'm doing, but who's gonna be in charge of beating somebody's ass? We need our own government. We need our own schools, school buses, ambulances, like the Jewish people. When there's fights, you get fucked up by the community, and everyone stay out. Like,
well, true. Let me reverse your devil's advocate and play devil's advocate. So, how do we know that that's not just propaganda that's being spewed out there by way of the media, right? That Black Lives Matter lady, that the Black Lives Matter ladies took that money and did things with it that they wasn't supposed to do to dismantle Black Lives Matter. How do we know that that is indeed the case? Because we've seen it all throughout history where they'll finesse us and tell us something that is this, and they control media. We don't. We don't own that shit. They do.
That's a fact.
So how do we know
Black
that
Lives Matter popped up? You done had all these cops going to jail and shit. I don't think they like that.
So why not dismantle it, right? If we're gonna jump into the conspiracy bag, right? I mean, like, I'm just saying, I'm just here to wake it up, have a dope conversation, and tell me how you guys feel about that commentary there. Good evening. Good afternoon, Lisa.
that's a good point, and I'm here for that.
I'm here for both points. Trillion and yours make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here for my point. I'm here for Broadway's point. We gotta go about it at all angles. This is how a business proposal or even a debate is construed. You have to look at every angle. You gotta look at my angle. You gotta look at Broadway's angle, and you gotta figure out all the in-betweens, like the exit strategy, so to speak. So in starting something like that, that has to be discussed.
You need to check these folks' morals out, man. That's what the fuck we need to do. You need to start checking backgrounds and morals out before we start appointing people to be the representation for black people. Like, we don't be knowing where these people come from a can of paint. So, of course, they get up there and do some crazy shit because the people didn't elect you to begin with. We need to start electing and putting our own people that we know for a fact got our back into fucking positions of power, and I guarantee you we wouldn't have these motherfucking problems, man. But you can't be mad at a motherfucker that stepped up, even though they kind of switched the narrative to benefit themselves. They stepped up and not talking about it. All we do is talk about that shit. They put action to their shit. So when we start getting people with moral standards and shit to put the action behind what the fuck they saying, we won't have these problems.
Listen, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Broadway the Giant on YouTube. Guys, I know you guys are in the clubhouse with me. Just scroll to the top, hit that link, and hit that like button. More importantly, hit that like button, please, and thank you. I'm gonna play this clip again for those that's watching on YouTube.
It's drug selling. It's drug using. That's what they perceive as the best about it. Why though?
Right. No, you're right.
Why is it the best of us?
Right.
Why? Like, Sam Smith gets to sing a great song about stay with me. That goes straight to power rotation on a mainstream radio station. If I sing that same song, stay with me, limited bandwidth. Because our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
You now listening to Live on Broadway.
Our family separated. It's fine. It's perfect. The man staying with his family and raising his kids and pouring into his woman. That's the threat.
Yeah, but every time I hear it, I feel exactly the same way I did the first time I heard it. Jesus.
Yeah. It gets more powerful every time. I just want to I feel like Pocahontas. I just want to let my hair fucking blow in the wind and the colors of the wind and shit, you know?
I mean, our love has always been the motherfucking threat, even all the way back to fucking slavery. That's why they started debucking or whatever, bunking the man, got there, demasculizing the man, separating him from his family. Like that shit has always been the threat, man.
And they're still separating men from us.
Just systematically now. Now it's all
right.
systematically,
It's changed a little bit.
Systematically racist, regardless.
But it was. Yeah.
No, let me just wake this side up too. I think to some extent or another, in order to effectively, right? The key word is the operative word is effectively. In order to effectively communicate, we have to effectively have intentions behind the conversations that we're having. What that means and what that sounds like is when Siegel is talking, I'm just going to be quiet and listen. I can't have an impulsive control, be impulsive about, oh, she said something, I don't like it, let me jump in there and say something, right? Because if I don't get to hear what she says in full, and we see it all the time on Clubhouse, we see it in our own personal lives, people have an impulsive control disorder, right? Where he or she says something, I need to jump in here and say exactly how I feel in this moment right now, can't wait, can't table it, for whatever reason or another. And there's certain people you can do that with, certain people you can't. But the bottom line is, if it's a general conversation, cool, then that's what's happening, like the one that we're having now, right? But when people are feeling attacked, when it's personal, that's when the impulsive control disorder happens, as what I put it. Impulsive control disorder happens, right? Where people just can't muster up the strength to just listen. And why is Broadway talking about communication for? Because to some degree or another, that's the conversation we're having. We're talking about communication and being able to say something and follow through, but we can't get an edge in to say something because our people won't listen, because we'll start fighting each other before we even get to the bottom line. How you guys feel about that? Commentary.
Yeah, I agree. I'm heavy on find the tribe, find the people who you can speak freely around, and they recognize your intentions, and they're open they're open and not ignorant to the fucking world demographics, various shades of melanin. Because I grew up in Virginia 11 years, and
really?
11 years. I was born in Queens, New York.
Allegedly. No, let me
I have
stop.
my birth certificate. It says Elmhurst Hospital.
Big up the Queens!
Very, yeah.
Shout out to Vern. Big up the Queens.
Yeah, shout out to Queens. Lost my virginity. No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
Whoa.
Whoa! Just kidding. I didn't. No, but I always stood out, and I grew up in the Black community. Like, I feel sometimes more Black than people I've met because
that are Black.
Because I've been through more stereotypically Black experiences than some women that I know who came from the suburbs or of a certain privilege, because people associate Blackness in one box, but there are people who really can't relate to certain issues, but they support it.
You keep doing this. You keep waking things up, and then hold on, Trills. It's that right there, right? We don't recognize other things. I'm so sorry, Trills, right? This is that impulsive control disorder that I just said. I'm so sorry. This is the thing, though, right? When we're talking about, we don't see. How can you not view Trills as Black? Why is the island of DR, right? Dominican Republic, right? Why is it Haiti and then it's DR? No, it's all one. Like, I don't understand it. It makes it. Listen, but continue on, Trills. I just wanted to wake that up because you said that.
It's a lot of things. When you grow up to hate yourself, it's a whole nother ballpark. But what I was saying was, there's a lot of people who can't relate to Black issues who are Black because of how they grew up. They only affiliate with certain things because they look in the mirror every day and they can't deny it. But people put things in a box, and when you don't travel, I have a episode on my podcast where I talk about stuff like this too. It's like,
what's the name of your podcast?
The Pretty Banana Podcast. Thanks for letting me shout it out. But it's the same as Broadway. It's like, we're just talking shit about real stuff, and we're clickbaity, and we're gonna say how it is, and so not everyone's gonna like it. Some people might be confused, but hopefully you learn something, because people need to travel more. When you live in one place your whole life, and you're brought up a certain way, it just doesn't help like anybody, especially yourself. And I'm grateful for my upbringing, because I was always encouraged to stay on the sunny side of the street. Being brown became like a competition, who could get the darkest. My family, they always rocked their natural hair, had very coarse, 4C, thick hair, rocked their afros in the 60s and 70s. And I look at these photo albums, and it's so beautiful to see.
I love it.
I really didn't understand a lot of the hate that I received from people until the last few years. And it's just like, I can only say you have to heal, because I don't want to be the poster child either for woke Latin people, and I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable either, but I can only be me and off my experience. You've got these dumb bitches in the media like Danny Lay, no offense. I mean, I call her a dumb bitch and then I say no offense, but how can you sing and celebrate your skin tone in that way? To celebrate being light skinned is derogatory, considering what people have gone through and the word colorist in itself. So we have to have some kind of we have to just take people have to take accountability for the privileges they have. And as much inappropriate things as I say, there's some things I will never ever subscribe to, that I've been shocked of certain preferences and things like that. The preferences and the fetishes and the mind control and the brainwashing and the self-hate is why we are where we are. And the woman who was speaking before, I guess she's on your YouTube or your Instagram. Her idea is amazing, but there's all those things that are going to set us back. When you land in this, I'm parked here, but when you get off a plane in a different country, what do you see at the airport? Advertisements. I see a lot of skincare advertisements, and a lot of these people are very pale. And then I look at the people of the country I'm in, and they're very brown. And it's a lot of issues. It's huge problems. And I'm very, very happy that I did not grow up hating the color of my skin and looking at other people as that of a basis of who I'm going to judge them and how I'm going to treat them. Because not everyone can say that. Maybe even people in this room or people listening now, as cool as we are, you gotta say at least somebody in your family has said something about being dark. Maybe they didn't like, and you overheard. That's just how it is. So I don't know.
No, I appreciate that, Trills. I want to tap in with DWI, and I'm gonna come to Shantae next. So I want to get it from you guys. I know you've been sitting there patiently waiting and just listening, and I'm very interested to understand what you guys are hearing versus how you feel. D, tap in with me, D. You buy your mic, D?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
How you feel about the commentary you've been listening to, and what's yours?
Everybody has some good points. The point of view of how our people are now, and violence. We have this conversation all the time about the music and the current state. As much as we want our young ones to like and listen to some of the music that we grew up on, they're just not going to do that. So it's almost safe to say, in my mind, when I'm hearing y'all talk, we would like to think that somebody else is making this happen, but we are part of it too, because we listen to that music,
right? And
we introduce our kids to hip hop. It ain't like they work at the radio station or something and they have to listen to it. Like, they have a choice outside of, when they're in the house or whatever, and 9 times out of 10 we're listening to something that we understand is just a song, but they don't really understand they're singing it. And now, we are at this point now. But in terms of us being loving people, and I believe that that's a fact. I don't so much believe that somebody else is pushing us to go evil, or we need somebody else to stop doing something so we can get it right. I think we could get it right. Like, the same way that we get in these rooms and have conversations with ourselves, and I think we'll be on the same time. It just has to happen globally. But people got bills to pay and car notes and all that, and we'll get in a way with that, because we live in a capitalistic society. So that's that part. But
Got you. Tap in with me. Let me see who we got here. Shantae, how you feel about the conversation that's being had, Queen?
I mean, there's a lot of good, valid points. I don't know if there's more that I can add. If you have any questions or you want me to have a specific point of view of something, I don't. I'm just taking it all in.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot. It's a lot to receive. It's a lot to receive. Like, again, my bottom line is this, man. I think that, we need to put ourselves in a situation where we're actually able to identify that our love is the threat, and also, more importantly, be able to identify, what the bottom line is, and have intention, move with intention. I think we need to move more intentional,
That's powerful.
Because if we move with intentions, then who gonna stop us? I have a rhyme and a reason for why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it might not be anything to you. But to me, it's everything in the world. So I mean, if that, I'm real quick. I like to get to the meat and potatoes. I feel like we said a lot, we did a lot, we unpacked a lot. So if we got any final thoughts, we could get to that.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I just want to say, I was hanging out with some friends the other day. I was in the hood, in the PJs, but I was happy, because I got to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. And it just brought me back to a nostalgic of when I was, when you were young and carefree, you were poor, but you didn't know you were, you know what I mean? but you had each other and you had love. And going back to the essence of what's the threat, our love or our violence, definitely our love. But I would say that never forget, we are a resilient group of people, you know, as melanated Black people and people of color. We go through so much shit, you know, and through so much trauma and adversity. And, you know, whether it's someone that's been knocked down, homeless, or someone that's, you know, had to ravage and battle drug abuse. Or, you know, we all have our own stories, but in the midst of it, I still see that even through the concrete jungle, it's still like, you know, a rose comes out. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and I just love our people. I love being melanated. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And the fact that we're still able to just crack a smile, laugh, or just push through, I don't think many other people, especially white folks, could really like go through the ish that we go through and have the kind of smile and laughter and still find joy. So to me, that just resonates, that, you know, me corresponding that nostalgic feeling that I had. We really did come together the way Sequel, Trillion, and everyone else has described. We really would be a force to be reckoned with, because we're some powerful, creative, beautiful ass people. And so that's just kind of the wave or the vibe I just wanted to leave as my last thought and a part.
Sure, and I appreciate that. Listen, guys, we're gonna jump off this. I know it's a little bit powerful and heavy, but sometimes we need to have these conversations. You know what I mean? With that said, go to YouTube, hit that like button. We're gonna jump off this. I know my vibe, man. So it's cheaper to be yourself. Be Giant. I appreciate everybody pulling up today. You heard?